What's up, cuties? Happy Monday to you guys. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. But now I got some real work to do at work. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to do that. All right. I am ready for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving week to each and every one of you. I hope you guys enjoy family and have a lot of food and laughter and all that good stuff. So many hot topics, so little time. So I will not be able to say hello to each and every one of you, or you know how I try to do. But shout out to the cutie mods in the building. Shout out to the cutie crew and shout out to each of you that are here. Please hit the like button for me. I could have had at least 10 hot topics to talk about today. I just don't have the time to do it on this power hour. But we're going to talk about, we'll do an update on the African braiders in Birmingham, Alabama. If you guys did not check out my original video, make sure to go back and check that out. But we got a lovely ass update on them. We're going to talk about Joe Budden. Now, I wanted to play some audio, but Joe Budden is striking a YouTuber's channels. I'm so glad that I checked Twitter this morning. But the Patroni Cuties and I listened to the audio last night. We'll talk about that, what he had to say when it comes to Megan Thee Stallion. We got some Kandi and Todd news. Ciao. Todd, it looks like it was a scheme, child, that you set up based off of what's out here in these streets. And then lastly, we're going to talk about, and I can't stand this Negro. When I tell you I can't stand them, I can't stand them. But we're going to talk about Brian Mcknight, and then we're going to listen to an epic clapback from Dr. Marc, Lamont Hill. So we'll hear what he has to say after Brian Mcknight tried to call him out. I loved every bit of it, okay? But I want to start off with something that is totally off topic. It's just a security reminder. We spoke about a couple things last night on Patreon when it comes to similar situations like this. And don't answer questions like this online. I don't know if I have to tell you guys, but if you don't know, I'll tell you. When you see questions like this, what was your grandmother's name? I'm looking for vintage girls' names, not Doris. Don't ever answer questions like this online. It is those of us that child work and got to go through all of these trainings or whatever the case may be. That is PII information. Personal identifiable information. So yeah, you could think you're just over here, which is a couple thousand people just answering names, child. And guess what? They can go to your page, then they can get some information that could be an answer to one of your security questions. So I just wanted to start off with that real quickly because don't do that. So just a little bit of information. It is the holiday time. And folks are doing what they do to get your information, bank accounts, all of the above. Something that was not on my list, but we're going to go ahead and look at it real quickly, baby. Shout out to Monique. What is Monique's maiden name? Any of you guys know? Because I was definitely about to say Samuels, but we know that she did divorce Chris. She may still be carrying his last name. But Monique then popped out with her new boo baby. And I like this in her. Go ahead and take a quick look. Let me make sure it's unmuted. It is. Oh, child. Baby, he like what he see. I don't know if this is her new man or what. Yes, absolutely a security breach. Absolutely. You hear me? So yeah, don't do that. And you know, sometimes we do have to just pass information like that on because a lot of people just may not know. And you know, But what do you guys think? Let's see if we can get a slight view. He looks a little handsome. Go, Monique. That's her man, child. That ain't no friend. That's her man. And I'm not mad at her. Oh, is that the man from the radio station? No way. Allegedly. TNTG mom. Allegedly. And she's no longer with the radio station, correct? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, child. Okay, Teresa, you said the same thing. Sis, is that the radio station that she used to work at? I don't have time to research it. This just came across my timeline. Shout out to Mr. Housewives Instagram page. And that's him. Okay, that's him, but she doesn't have a certain type. Okay, so Teresa said yes at the same damn station. Okay, well, maybe that's why Monique had to leave, child. I'm gonna play it one more game. We're gonna move right on. I'm not mad at her. Rumor, he's back home with no child. Is he married? Miss Tina said, rumor, he's back home with his wife and family. Oh Lord. Okay, let me write this down. I will absolutely do a follow-up. Monique's new boo, possibly married. Oh, child. Now, Monique, I'm over here cheering you on. I'm gonna cheer you on for the rest of this because that's just a cutie. That's not my thoughts. So I don't know. And I don't have time to research it right now. We're gonna play it one more again though. Thank you for the info though, Miss Tina forever. She looks happy. She's in the wild, child, in the woods. You know, that's one of her love languages, I would think. So let's take a look. And the smile is huge. I'm not mad at her. I will be if he's married, but let's continue. Oh, child. Not the lick, child. Let me get on up out of here. If I end up calling BE. Go, Monique, for now. Go, Monique. And we watched Real Housewives of Potomac last night. I loved real quickly how she bypassed the initial setup when it comes to Ashley and Giselle and the rest of the crew trying to act like Stacy and Chris had this big thing going on. And Monique said, look, that's my ex for a reason. I would expect that he's dating somebody else. So I like that because I thought she was going to come back on angry and you know, trying to go at Stacy. All right, we're going to go ahead real quickly, guys, because I'm moving and grooving because I want to spend a little more time in this live on the Kandi and Todd, the Brian Mcknight, Marc Lamont Hill, Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, and Joe Budden and Megan. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at an update when it comes to these African hair braiders in Birmingham, Alabama. And for those of you that don't know, they actually held a woman hostage in their braiding shop and trying to act like she short paid them. But the woman came with what they asked in that text message, which was $200. That's what they said they were going to charge her. And they tried to demand and held her hostage to give $50 more. If you did not see the video, make sure to go back on my page. I have the full incident. I have the update from the lady in question, and they were arrested. They were arrested, and I'm happy. So you guys are looking here on the screen. These are the mug shots of 3 women that were arrested. Baby, it is the lace fronts for me. Now, they may want to start wearing braids themselves because this is ridiculous. But this was the main culprit right here. This young lady here, if I'm not mistaken, and do I want to try to bring up the beginning of my video? Let me do that. I believe this second person was the one that initially was trying to break it up. I don't know who this lady is. I don't remember seeing her on camera, but I also heard that there was a guy involved as well. So give me 1 second. We'll look at the first part of my video of this. Let me bring it up. Hold on. So let me stop sharing this. And then what did I do here? All right. And let me share it. For those of you that did not see it, we will see the incident. The public was outraged, rightfully so. And child, a hot mess. But we'll get into the charges, the bond amount or not, all of the above. But let's go ahead and take a quick look. All right, you guys can see this. I'll drop down and let's take a quick view. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I want to know if you guys saw this story that's gone viral. It is a shop in Birmingham, Alabama. Hit the like button for me, guys. Braiding shop that held a Black woman hostage because she paid what they asked her to pay. You guys see the text message on the screen. They told her $200. That's what she paid. And take a look at what happened. Take a look. Be back at the end with a little more commentary. Yeah, let my hair go. Let it go. I got the message. I don't tell you exactly what you asked for. Let my hair go. I don't care. Let my hair go. Give me what I'm going to do a life. Go ahead. Let my hair go. She don't want it to pay. She don't want it to pay. Man, show the money. Show what I'm paying. You pay for the fix it. When you don't pay. Show nothing. You can pay. No, this is the money, but you're not giving. Hello? Man, you talking crazy. Yeah, come here. Bro, let my hair go. We cannot leave it. I'm gonna sue you, bro. I'm gonna sue you. Okay, I'm gonna shoot you too. I'm saying sue. Now let me go. We're gonna sue you too. Now you wanna threaten me? Yeah. Man, let me go. Let me go. You're not leaving. We're gonna fix this. Nah, you ain't doing nothing. I am outraged. We're gonna fix this. Bro, let me go. You guys see how she's grabbing her hair? Look at this shit. All right. So, just for a point of reference, and because of that, yes, her ass, all three of them, but the main culprit has been arrested. And the shop, from what I hear, people are daring them to show up and try to do hair in that shop again. Okay. Darnett, join us on Patreon, sis. We talked about it last night, but she went into detail as far as Chris and the marriage. But here we go. Let me go ahead and blow this up. That's the main lady. So she looked a little different, child. She had a wig on, but she's 32 years old. Her name is Kamira Asaitan, and she was booked. Let's see here. Where's the charges? Simple assault. And the first one, my goodness, it's on my phone. Let's see. I think they both were. I believe that was like a attempted kidnapping. So for these, her bond amount, you guys see, is $0 for her, the main culprit. No bond. They are still being held in Jefferson County Jail in Birmingham, Alabama. The next culprit, she has a $500 bond for one charge, which was the assault in third degree, but that kidnapping charge, $0 bond. Held, just like they held that lady. This one here, child, I just want to rub some shea butter, some ordinary face product, some of that Melody Cherie product, child, something. A mess. But same for her. No bond. So my only thing was, when it comes to this, is in that clip that I showed you guys, they said no. Matter of fact, it was on TikTok and all of that, and it was the lady that was involved that they held hostage. She said that people other than these two showed up to that shop, and some of them were men. So I'll continue to look out for this, because I want them all arrested. And look, for me, I don't give a damn. who don't like it, go ahead and deport their ass. If they are illegal, get them on up out of here. Or you guys let me know, because it's not like they can get life. Hey, Pat H, what up, though, sis? It's not like they can get life. Would you rather they spend time here or be deported? And I think I want both. I think I want, hey, Aunt Debbie, I think I want whatever they are sentenced when it comes to the kidnapping and assault and all of the above. Yeah, go ahead and let them spend 10 years here, and then when they get out, ship their ass on up out of here. Ship their ass on up out of here. Right. Okay, fellas, and we on the same page. Hey, Melanin. How are you, sis? So I was happy with this update. Again, they are still being held, and people in Birmingham are outraged, as they should be. Not only Black women, but Black men as well. And as I told you guys, they are daring them. I dare you to show back up to this shop and think you're about to do business. All of that over something that they made a mistake on. I mean, not even made a mistake, whatever it was. They quoted her $200. That's what she paid them, $200. The main culprit, let me put her ass back on the screen, said that she made a mistake and put human hair in her head, and the cost was $250. Now, look, I don't practice, but I am a licensed cosmetologist. Haven't practiced in years though. And for $250, that's not human hair. Okay. Now there may be a human blend, but they didn't charge $250. And she's trying to act like it was human hair. That's a damn lie. The hair, human hair, for that whole head would have been at least $800. So lied all the way around, and I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. So it calmed my nerves down, child, because look, a lot of us was ready to, go on out there and join the picket line or do whatever. You get what I'm saying? So kudos to them for being dummy asses. You guys know I like to give dummy ass awards of the day or week, and they definitely get it. Shout out to the lady that went through that, and for her handling this the proper way. A lot of us, especially myself, wouldn't have probably waited for the law. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to her. All right, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving. And let's keep Melanin, especially. If you hear anything else, sis, let me know. Because, again, I heard that there were some Negroes that pulled up to the scene. And I want to know if they were arrested, too. All right, so I cannot play you guys the audio of Joe Budden. As I mentioned, he is striking channels. And Debbie said, I don't go to braid my hair because you ask and show them the style and they do what they want to. You don't go get your hair braided anymore, Aunt Debbie? Yeah, look, I'm just going to keep it real. It's a lot of them that don't like us. And it's the audacity for me. So it's a lot of Africans that don't like Black Americans. And as with any other race, that we will go and spend our hard-earned money. Not all of them. Not all of them. But a lot of them don't like us, but we'll take our money. So, yeah, and Debbie, I don't blame you. If you decided to no longer go, good for you. It's my hope that all of you, some styles you can't do. But the Cutie Crew is a witness, child. In 2 days, I did my micros before our Cutie Crew invades Vegas, and they are still in my head. And they will still be in here until after I hit 3 months. So learn how to do some of these things yourself, is what I'm saying. You can look at YouTube videos. If you have the patience, learn how to do some of these things yourself. Your makeup, your hair, all of the above. Okay. All right, let's continue. Joe Budden is striking folks. And because of that, I won't be able to share the audio with you guys today. But what had happened was Joe Budden this past Friday um taped an episode of his podcast. And in that episode, they were talking about how Meg turned down an opportunity from Call of Duty, which is a video game, because they wanted her to be a character in that video game where people would have been able to pow her. With what Meg has gone through with Tory Lanez, Misha, we're gonna have to talk. Cause see, I'm semi there. I'm semi there. But I think after this, I'm done, sis. I'm gonna start your comment and I'll come back to it. So Call of Duty, you guys should know, is a video game where they, have all type of weapons and they're trying to unalive these characters. So Mona, Don't Call Me White Girl, which is a new addition to Joe Budden's podcast, said that, man. So anyway, let me stop myself. It was big bucks that Meg would have been paid, and she turned that down based off of what she went through with Tory Lanez, based off of Tory Lanez pow-powing her, based off of his little bitty short ass being locked up for that for 10 years right now. A lot of people don't choose to believe Meg. I believe her. I always have, and I will continue. There's no need to make something like that up. She's not a scorned woman. She don't give a damn if he dated Kelsey. No, that would have been career suicide. So anyway, Mona, which I don't know if I like her, I 90% don't. But anyway, she said that, man, they would have been pow and Meg up. And Joe Budden said, he said, look, I don't even play Call of Duty, but I would have purchased this. I would have purchased it just to pow and unalive Megan the Stallion. I will say allegedly because, like I said, he is striking folks' channels. So I will repeat, Meg turned down that opportunity because of that traumatic, horrifying experience that she went through with Tory Lanez pow-powing her. Mona said, man, I bet you people would have been unaliving her left and right, pow-powing her left and right. And Joe Budden then said because she's talking about the public. He said hell, I would have too. I don't even play the game, but I would have purchased it just to shoot and unalive Meg the Stallion. So yeah, Misha, I can't take no more. I have watched, and we're gonna look at and listen to a guy for one of the reasons why I was strung along, because I love me some Marc Lamont Hill. He's on Joe Budden's network podcast as well. And then I used to really like Melissa Ford, and she's no longer on the show. So he's threatening to strike people. I wish you guys could hear the audio. Shout out to the Patroni Cuties, because we've been there, done that last night. And maybe that was just God saying, go ahead and play it, because I wasn't going to play it. I think, Bridget J., you're the reason, sis, why I ended up playing it. But if I was Megan Thee Stallion, and we're going to move on, I would go ahead and sue his ass next. That's just me. All of this is alleged. All of this is my opinion only. Everything, even though I heard it with my own ears, it is alleged, okay? And I wish I could play the audio, but Meg Thee Stallion is currently in court. They should be wrapping up that court case today against YouTuber Milagro for some of the same disgusting, vile shit, in my opinion, that Joe Budden has said before, academics, and allegedly Tory Lanez and his dad paid YouTuber Milagro to come out here and put all of these different narratives out here when it comes to Meg Thee Stallion. So Meg is suing her for defamation of character, and we should have a judgment, if not today, tomorrow. So I'll definitely come back with you to you guys with that But when it comes to Joe Budden, Meg, once you're done with this case, go ahead. Now, they did mention Joe Budden in the deposition, I believe, as well as academic. But look, after this victory, because that's what I'm claiming for her, go ahead and sue them as well. And Misha, I'll read your comments, sis, and then we're going to move on to Kandi and Todd. I'm doing good on time. Kandi and Todd and Brian Mcknight. No, we'll move to Brian Mcknight and Marc Lamont Hill next, since he is on the Joe Budden podcast. But hey, Shorten, love you, sis. But Misha said, I like Joe Budden's podcast, but when I was listening to the pod a few days ago and he said this about Meg, I was disgusted. I'm glad she turned down Call of Duty for this very reason. Misha, my points exactly. Um, a lot of things, and I will admit, I didn't do all of the research that I know that I should have, especially when I'm out here running my mouth when it comes to Joe Budden. But I have been watching his podcast before I even started a YouTube channel. But a lot of things that are coming out still till this day have been disgusting and is disgusting. So for me, Misha, I no longer like the podcast. I no longer will support any in any way, even by listening. That was disgusting. I tried to reason with it, but I said, yeah, no, we're not about to do that. And I said, he don't have daughters, but in all reality, Misha, that man is, in my opinion, ex addict, got behinds in his face 3, 4, 5 times a week at the strip club. And look, I'm not going to take away his success for him. Kudos to him. Hey, Kathy, for walking away from deals that were worth millions to do things independently. And that's where I was struggling at as well, because that's where I struggle at when it comes to Tasha K. As far as her following and all of that. So a part of me wants to give them their kudos, but then they do or say some shit that's not cool. And it's like, ugh. People may feel that way about me. I don't know. But I'm never going to be disgusting. Okay? And yeah, that was disgusting. So prayers going up to Meg the Stallion. I do hope again that she comes out with a victory when it comes to the YouTuber Milagro. And I also hope that she continues suing. Yeah. So that's all I got on that. We'll talk about it, Cutie Crew, in one of our afternoon teas. Don't forget, tomorrow, Cutie Crew, we will be discussing the church that scolded the teenager, 13-year-old girl. I believe she was 13. It's written down somewhere. We'll be talking about that tomorrow in our afternoon tea. So make sure to join me over there, okay? Let's go ahead and touch on Brian Mcknight. And I wish I would have had a thumbnail with just Brian Mcknight and Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, but I don't. So what I'm going to do is we're going to play some audio. Brian Mcknight. Can't stand him. I can barely stand to even listen to him. God don't like ugly. But I want you guys to just take a listen to what he had to say last week with his sit down appearance with the guy. What's the guy named? Anton something. But was absolutely better than what you're going to hear is how Marc Lamont Hill checked that ass, because he did call out Marc Lamont Hill. I want to just say Mark, but there's so many Marks, I got to say the name. And yeah, he checked that ass. So take a listen. I don't know how long I can listen to this with you guys, but shout out to 180 of you that are watching. Let's take a listen.
Listen, you're torn because I was never in love with their mother.
I hate this nigga. I hate
we weren't made for love to begin with. And I said this before, and people got so mad that this obligation that
I'm gonna stop his ass right there. I don't give a damn what they were made in. Love, sin, it don't matter to me. Your ass created those kids. They are here. One of them, unfortunately, may he continue to rest in peace, is no longer here. However, they were made. They were made. That don't give you a right to come out here and try to act like since they weren't made in love, I don't love them. Where they do that at? Oh, I can't stand this man.
That just because you lay with somebody now, it's sort of an 18-year sentence of some kind, or beyond that, because it's forever.
Negro said it's an 18-year sentence just because you laid with somebody. Nigga, that was your wife. You were married to her.
And there's resentment there. Calling your kids an obligation or framing having to be a parent as an 18-year sentence or forever or whatever you want to call it is crazy work and shows that you really didn't love your kids in the first place.
No, what it shows, and shout out to this guy, I believe his name was the real Dwight Thomas. What it shows is he don't love his damn self. That's what it shows. It has nothing to do with the kids. This man does not love himself. But anyway, that's about, hey, Brittany Janae, that's about all I can stomach. Cutie Crew, we will in one of our afternoon teas this week, because I know a couple of you guys were asking last night. So we'll spend some time behind the walls where I can really, really say what I want to say. Yeah, because my pressure is rising, child. But in that podcast sit down that he had as well, he called out the Joe Budden podcast. He said that he had reached out to them and wanted to sit down with them, and they didn't respond back or answer him. He also had a few choice words when it comes to Dr. Marc Lamont Hill. So again, since Joe Budden is striking, let's see, can I change this? I was going to see if I can change to speed. I'm not going to share. Well, what the heck? Hold on. Because Joe Budden just don't want the truth about him to come out here. I don't know how you feel about Dr. Marc Lamont Hill. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys, because I do want you to see the effect. And I loved every bit of it. All right, here we go. This is, I had to make a video myself because my video was acting crazy. But let's go ahead and take a listen to what Dr. Marc Lamont Hill had to say when it comes to Brian Mcknight. Loved it, and I will put this on Instagram later.
I don't remember calling him an asshole, but he's...
Okay, so that's what it was. Brian Mcknight said that Marc Lamont Hill called him an asshole. Take a listen to this read.
An asshole. Let me be clear. Brian Mcknight, is this my camera? Brian Mcknight, you are an asshole. And that's okay. It's not a beef. We ain't got no issues. You're just an asshole. I'm basing that on having interviewed Brian Mcknight lots of times. Since you bring it, I wasn't going to mention this, but I've interviewed you lots of times. You were rude and nasty to everybody on my crew. Everybody on my team, you were nice to me. But the measure of being an asshole isn't how you treat the host, it's how you treat everybody around him. And you've been a dickhead to them. No disrespect to you, except you're an asshole. I was in the airport in Eastern Europe. I was headed somewhere, you were headed somewhere different. I watched a woman come to and ask you for an autograph, and you completely ignored and disrespected her and walked off. You're an asshole. But that's not why we're talking about this. So we said, I don't know you.
Sounds like an asshole to me, child. Let's continue.
I don't know you. But I don't have to know you to know you're an asshole. I don't get into your family business. Your family business has nothing to do with me, except when you make it public. And when you put your family in public on blast, that might make you an asshole.
Put a 1 in the chat, because you guys know we can't say that. Hey, Lulu B. Hey, Simone. What up, sis? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys think he is absolutely a hoe. Just put a 1. Put a 2 if you okay with Brian Mcknight. Let's continue.
That's all I'm saying. When you have children and you say my children are the product of evil, that might make you an asshole. When somebody says, yo, but the Bible says you should love your children, you say my older children were the product of sin. That make you an asshole.
Period.
That's just the fact. When you have a child named Brian Mcknight Jr., and then you fall out with them, have a new baby, name him Brian Mcknight with a different middle name, and then legally change your name to the new kid's name, you try to start back at one with your kids.
Not start back at one, child. Y'all know that's one of Brian's songs. I shout out to let me continue.
So please, don't act like you better than us. You're not. You worse than us.
Yes, he is.
If you want to come up here and debate, I'm sure they will let you debate. But you didn't contact nobody. You're lying, just like your children say you lie. And for the record, I have spoken to your children off the record, and they told me a laundry list of shit about you that's way worse than anything that's ever happened in the public. I'm not going to say that on air. We can keep that between me and you.
Child, I gotta play that again. One more again. Shout out to Dr. Marc Lamont Hill. And Mark, please spill the tea. Please spill it as far as what the children said to you. May Julie Mcknight's son rest in peace. And yeah, no, you can't. This not no Carfax type of situation. You can't go back and erase history, Brian Mcknight. You are indeed an a-hole. Let me play that one more again, child. Uninterrupted.
I don't remember calling him an asshole, but he's an asshole. Let me be clear. Brian Mcknight, is this my camera? Brian Mcknight, you are an asshole. And that's okay. It's not a beef. We ain't got no issues. You're just an asshole. I'm basing that on having interviewed Brian Mcknight lots of times. Since you bring it, I wasn't going to mention this, but I've interviewed you lots of times. You're rude and nasty to everybody on my crew. Everybody on my team, you're nice to me. But the measure of being an asshole is how you treat the host, is how you treat everybody around him. And you've been a dickhead to them. No disrespect to you, except you're an asshole. I was in the airport in Eastern Europe. I was headed somewhere. You were headed somewhere different. I watched a woman come to and ask you for an autograph, and you completely ignored and disrespected her and walked off. You're an asshole. But that's not why we're talking about this. So you say, I don't know you. I don't know you. But I don't have to know you to know you're an asshole.
Period.
I don't get into your family business. Your family business has nothing to do with me, except when you make it public. And when you put your family in public on blast, that might make you an asshole.
Period.
That's all I'm saying. When you have children and you say my children are the product of evil, that might make you an asshole. When somebody says, yo, but the Bible says you should love your children, you say my older children were the product of sin. That might make you an asshole. Yeah. That's the fact. When you have a child named Brian Mcknight Jr., and then you fall out with them, have a new baby, name him Brian Mcknight with a different middle name, and then legally change your name to the new kid's name, you try to start back at one with your kids. So please, don't act like you better than us. You're not. You worse than us. If you want to come up here and debate, I'm sure they will let you debate. But you didn't contact nobody. You're lying, just like your children say you lie. And for the record, I have spoken to your children off the record, and they told me a laundry list of shit about you that's way worse than anything that's ever happened in the public. I'm not going to say that on air. We can keep that between me and you.
You're an oh, I'm on YouTube. You are absolutely Brian Mcknight, an a-hole. Period. Point blank. Okay, and I'm sick of seeing him. You know, I don't ever wish harm on anybody because karma is real. I don't want it to spin the block for me. But God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. And to the chick that he's married with, she's just as disgusting as him. You know, to even be married to a Negro that's trying to erase his whole life before you, and you think you're the chosen one, so it's okay. You know, it's always been my hope. Again, may Nico rest in peace. But it's always been one of my hopes, child, you know, that Brian need an organ or something. And the only match is the original Brian Mcknight Jr. And guess what I would do if I was Brian Mcknight Jr.? You know, that's all I got to say. We'll talk about it more when it comes to that behind the wall, because you know I got a whole lot to say when it comes to that epic read, Miss Tina, that epic read that Marc Lamont Hill just gave him. Which one, Peach Prince? Whoop-de-doo? Yeah, okay, that's a good way to put that. So yeah, if I were Brian Mcknight Jr. and Brian Mcknight Sr. needed an organ from me,
whoop-de-doo.
Period. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. I despise him. I hate hearing his voice. I hate looking at him. I just don't like him. Period, point blank. And he don't like his damn self. For this man to not repent and say everything that I said about my family. Look, I understand that me and my ex-wife had a tumultuous divorce and all of that. For him not to course correct, again, God don't like ugly. Shafragri, you said I will let that ninja go bye-bye. In other words,
whoop-de-doo.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So yeah, blood pressure high. And it's not even because of Marc Lamont Hill. It is absolutely because I don't even like talking about this Negro. I don't. But let's go ahead. We're going to get into some Kandi and Todd. T, what's out in the streets. Again, everything is alleged, but there's a whole lot going on. And Todd, I just want to tell you, brother, you're not fooling anybody. So after the announcement that Kandi filed for divorce, oh, I'm going to have to put my notifications on for Michelle H3LL because she said she was going to try to get the documents. We're not rejoicing in this, but it looks like Todd is. Negroes, baby. And this is an act. This is an act. But Todd went to the club after the news broke that he and Kandi are divorcing after 11 years of marriage. And while at the club, I'm trying to see who responded to me over there. I'm just now seeing it. He was there with just all women. He was there with all women. So let's go ahead and take a look. And not only there with all women, but he made sure to put the camera on all women. Now, this one here, I don't know who she is, but he made sure to keep that camera on her, okay? He made sure to follow her wherever she went. Cheers to new beginnings. Look, this man is hurt, but perhaps not as much as I thought that he would be. We know that Kandi protected herself. She did that when it comes to that prenup, but this other clip really broke it down. And we saw this on their wedding special. But Todd was upset. And then I'll get into some of the stuff that's out here in the streets. Is this from the show? Here you go. We're going to take a look at this one. All right. So, yeah, this was, I believe, on their wedding special. Let's see. Oh, no, this Mama Joyce. This is Mama Joyce. Let's take a look at Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce was right, child. Mama Joyce was right.
You think I'm getting out of it?
What you getting out of it? Cause let me tell you, ain't no rubber handle. Ain't no shit. Desert hot enough to keep me on your ass, baby.
So that was before marriage. Todd said, what I'm getting out of it, And yeah, he gonna still get some stuff out of it. We'll go through a couple points. But this is something. Todd does have a YouTube channel. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk. Because a lot of people say, oh no, he was joking. This Negro ain't joking. You ain't about to joke with me like this when it comes to what you would do with my friends if we got a divorce. Some things you can act like you're joking about and you're really not joking. And those are my thoughts and opinions when it comes to this clip. Take a look.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. For young women who are bosses and have all of this money and got this extra shit. No, because I think, I understand the double standard, but I think you also need to understand the man that you're with, the man that you chose, and you're allowed to choose you. That you can't be so mine. You know what I mean?
You can't be so mine. That's him trying to reprogram her. Yes, you can be mine. If I had mine before your ass. Yes, you can. Let's continue.
You have to open up within reason. I'm not saying throw my niggas no Bentleys and doing dumb shit, but you gotta invest in y'all and y'all future, and you gotta let your man feel like a man in those scenarios.
Now, my question is, before we get to the TT that's out in the streets, is why does she have to invest? Why does she have to do all of this? What you gotta do? What you gotta do? So I gotta invest in you. I gotta do all of this just because I decided to marry you. Got it, Todd. Got it.
Because with all the money that you have, you can't end up by yourself. You know what I mean? Because at times that type of energy of it's mine. No, I'm just being honest as a man.
Now that part he wasn't joking about. It's another part. So he said, with all that money and all that you got, you can end up by yourself. And I would rather be by myself. Todd wasn't a businessman before he got with Kandi. Kandi built him up to be that. Todd was a producer. That's about it. Making less than $100,000 a year, allegedly. So the bossing up came from Kandi. And yeah, if I gotta boss you up and all of that, I would rather be by myself. Let's continue.
Yeah, I'm just giving you my honest stuff. I'm gonna be real with y'all. My honest opinion. Okay. As you continue to be like, it's mine, it's hard to get someone to say it's mine in a relationship that's supposed to be ours. I'm not saying, can I talk? And it's not about, hey, I got this 10 million, let me give you 5. It's not that. It's more so just knowing, like, yo, we got each other. Whatever.
This is a joke.
But when you hear a person say mine a lot, that shit sticks. Believe me, I'm telling you.
Oh well, let it stick.
My honest opinion.
There's another clip of Todd that is going around where he was allegedly joking in another YouTube, and it may have been that same video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But allegedly he was joking about how many of her friends he would sleep with if they got a divorce. That wasn't a joke. And I think that Kandi absolutely knew, allegedly, as far as what's out here in these streets, that he wasn't joking. Now, I'm not saying that he was messing around with friends. I don't know if he was messing around, period. But what they are saying all out in the Twitter streets and everywhere else, and shout out to a person that sent me some other stuff. I'm going to hold off on that. But allegedly, Todd had his own apartment in Atlanta. Allegedly, and let me bring his page up, because a lot of us like, oh my goodness, that is so nice. Looking at Todd's Instagram page over the years, a lot of us said that it was admirable as far as how we saw Todd with the kids. But allegedly, Todd was setting up a scheme, allegedly. to make sure that it is shown and known who the primary parent was in my Martell voice. So, you know, here's Todd's page. Happy birthday to their daughter. She did just celebrate a birthday over the weekend. Saturday, I believe it was. But if we go through Todd's page, he absolutely had posts that he kept saying daddy daycare, daddy daycare. All throughout his page, daddy daycare. And look, there's nothing wrong with a man loving his kids. There's nothing wrong with a man being daddy daycare to his children. But a lot of people said if you look at Kandi's page versus Todd's page, you will see that there is a difference. But Todd knew that Kandi was the bread maker, earner, all of the above. He knew that. And it's just going around that allegedly this was a scheme, again, that Todd set up in the event of divorce when it comes to what he's done with the kids. Also, they said that, and I remember Kandi speaking about this, that she was sick of Todd opening up all of these different businesses. A lot of them failed. But they said that Todd allegedly was setting up all of these businesses to show that, yeah, we were in business together. So that's the part that we don't know. And I don't know if it'll ever come out like in court documents or anything. You know, their percentages when it comes to these businesses that were set up. But we do know that that prenup absolutely said that what Kandi came into this marriage with, homes and everything else, money and everything else, is hers. But allegedly, what they made together and after they got married, they will have to split that. But it's hot in the streets. Allegedly, Todd was a regular at these Magic City and all of that, a regular. And the girl that works there, that's a bartender, that's on Twitter, and she said, I'm glad she divorced him because damn, I get tired of seeing him at our bar. So they said he was there all the time. Now, we know that they've been open and honest when it comes to their, you know, actual activities. And people want to say that if Todd cheated, it should be okay because they did introduce other people in their bedroom. But we spoke about this last week or week before, that video clip, and that was before Kandi even announced. Let's see if I can find that real quick. God dog it. That was a couple weeks before she even announced that she was divorcing Todd, but she sat down with the guy and was speaking on these threesomes. And he asked her, you know, well, what if he decided to step out himself? Would you consider that cheating? And Kandi said yes. Let's play this one. Let's play this one. I can't find that, but it is in one of my videos. But let me play this one for you guys, because Kandi was making it clear that a man should not want half after the divorce. And pay attention to Todd's face. Shout out to Binge Worthy. Love his platform on Instagram, on YouTube, the creativeness and all of that. I just love it. Okay. But shout out to Binge Worthy because he posted this. Take a quick look.
That's not even part of the conversation.
No, it is to me because even in divorce, I don't think it's right when men be trying to take half of the women. I don't think it's cool. Like, I feel like a man should always be a man and be able to handle it.
Hold on.
The money while the man was with you and he nurtured you, he helped you, gave you ideas, he was a part of that, you know, that progression. You don't think he should get anything?
So he letting it be known. He letting it be known right there. He gave you ideas. He progressed things with you. And look at Kandi's face. Look at her face.
You did it all.
What's it called? She got off.
Let's work on this. Like he's setting you up. He's organizing you. He's getting your shit right.
You sound like a Wendy Williams situation.
Oh, I don't really know that thing. I'm just saying.
Oh, child. Kandi said like a Wendy Williams situation. We know how that ended. Kandi not having that. Hey, Gigi.
Because he's like her manager.
No, I'm just saying someone who like really influences, who's really there. So now you blew up. You wasn't blown up.
So he, he's trying to act like he's talking or speaking hypothetically, but he's not. And Kandi knew that, in my opinion. He's talking about himself with her. And he wants to say that she blew up because of him, in my opinion. That's what I want to say. And thank you for saying it the easy way. He was plotting and planning before he even proposed marriage. And the way that he's moving, I would say proves that. And we know Aunt Bertha, child. We know Aunt Bertha said that it was a scheme that Todd set up and with the bullshit and spent around in that chair. It seems like that's really, really the case, which is scary. But a lot of us, we have spoken about this, especially in my members only. You can absolutely sometimes be married to and sleeping with the enemy. And that's what it's given. Let's continue.
Okay, I like how Steve Harvey say he is now with his wife. I had when I came with this thing.
That's not even part of the conversation.
No, it is to me because what I'm saying is when you and I got together in marriage,
right,
and we made more businesses, we made more, there were other things happening.
Right.
To me, the money that was made after marriage, that's a different conversation because we both contributed, whatever.
Look, unfortunately, we don't know how much. Todd gonna get paid. Todd is going to get paid. And yeah, I do think that this is absolutely a scheme that Todd been setting up, child, from the time he laid eyes on Kandi. Just my opinion. This last one I definitely want to show you guys. Shout out again to Binge Worthy. This Negro wasn't joking. You absolutely couldn't joke like that with me. Take a look at this. He trying to act like he joking. Nick, okay. Let's go.
You bring so around my kids.
Let me tell you how I am, right? The same way that you just said that, that's exactly what I'll be thinking. Like, let's say my kids were younger and they're like your kids' ages, right? Your young kids' ages. I would rather you date my baby daddy than some stranger. Because I know you're gonna take care of my kids.
Hold on.
I would rather that.
Y'all see that big Kool-Aid grin he got on his face?
Stranger.
Now listen, I wouldn't prefer it, but if it happened, I don't know if I would fall apart like some. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'd be because I've had girls that I know and that we have both fucked the same dude before, and then we be over there laughing and joking and talking shit together, like I thought it was so big that little baby. What?
What is it?
The D word? Yeah.
Who's making sense?
And I'm not overly hurt. I'm sorry. My bad. Maybe I should keep it clean. I know I'm just messing up. No. You bring so around my kids.
Let me tell you how I am, right?
Okay, dog it. I thought that was the one where he was actually saying that he would absolutely sleep with her friends. Okay, maybe here you go.
I'm smashing all Kandi's friends and we single.
Shut up.
Calm down.
No. I gotta go.
All right. You guys get the gist. He said, I'm smashing all of y'all, your friends, if we break up. So I do get that they were having that, if we want to call it, lighthearted conversation. But yeah, no, you're not even joking. You know what I'm saying? And then naturally, people are going to try to piece things together. People are going to bring in the whole threesome, foursome. I don't know how many people they had in the bedroom, but we know that it was open. We also know that Kandi said that, we can only do that with each other. If he were to step outside and get with somebody else, we're done. That's cheating. So that's what's on the streets. That, and even if you go through Kandi's Instagram page, we did see her speech to Todd at BravoCon. But even when it comes to them doing what normal couples do, as far as supporting each other on their Instagram page and love you, babe, and all that stuff was just up until a week ago. So allegedly, I don't know. So don't even run with this and say it's the truth. But Kandi did leave Todd at home when she went to BravoCon solo. Allegedly, according to them ATL girls that's over there on Twitter that are workers at these bars and all of that, Todd was out in them streets. So do we think that Todd had an attitude because Kandi didn't take him to BravoCon? And did he make the mistake that a lot of Negroes do? Okay, so I couldn't go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Allegedly, there was some cheating going on. And Kandi already letting it be known, if you step outside of me, without me, if this not an agreed upon session, if you will, between you, I, and other people, it's a wrap. And I think that Kandi, my opinion only, I think that Kandi just found out last week that Todd cheated. And Kandi pulled the plug and say, okay, you think you're going to play with me? I think it was quick. I really, really do. We don't know. They did say that Todd has had his own apartment in ATL, but they didn't say that he was living in that apartment. I don't know if you guys remember. There was an argument before, and maybe it was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, whatever. But Todd was saying that, when he's out in these clubs and all of that, where they live was too far. And that's the reason why he got the other apartment and things like that. So, again, this is all out in the streets. I don't know a damn thing because I don't know them. But yeah, that apartment probably was, his little dip spot. You know what I mean? And if Kandi and anybody else that's okay with your man going out to these clubs and staying 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning, and then you say, okay, well, yeah, I understand if you want to get it. Look, the clubs will never be that serious. Ain't nothing open after a certain time but legs. Okay? And if you respect me and love me enough, you're going to bring yours home. Yeah. Kandi said she filed Friday, but it's been going on. Where did she say that at? Charnel, when you say something like that, give me a reference. Give me a reference. Hey, Gina. That's the thing, though. They didn't have an open marriage. They opened themselves up to other people, but they didn't have an open marriage. We just listened to Kandi say a couple weeks ago that, yeah, our activities are between us. Anything outside of that is cheating. An open marriage is you do you, I'ma do me. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Okay, I will. Thank you, Charnel. I asked you for a reference, and we gonna correct ourselves in real time. Thank you, Charnel. All right, we're gonna listen to this, and then we're gonna be out of here. New information: Kandi Burruss speaks on filing for divorce from Todd Tucker. I've been going through it, y'all. Prayers up for Kandi. I'm a woman before I'm anything. And what I know about women is we will try and try and try until it gets to a point where it's, yeah, no. So let's take a look. Thank you, Charnel.
Good to see you in good spirits with so much going on. I'm sorry about you and Ty. Okay, so yeah, I've been going through it. Life has been lifing me. Okay, I filed for divorce on Friday, and yeah, right now it's a pretty crazy time. Anyway, Ali says, "Will you do a speak on it about current news?" Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, eventually. Me being the Taurus that I am, I like to keep those moments to myself. When I was on Housewives, I really couldn't keep moments to myself when I got upset, so y'all would catch me.
Now, Charnel, I don't know if she's going to continue talking. I'll continue listening. But what she said was, I filed for divorce on Friday. She didn't say we've been going through a divorce. All right, let's continue.
Me crying, but in real life, I don't really like for those moments to be shared with the world. I am up and down. And to be clear, yes, I filed Friday, but this is something that has been brewing for a while. So all the time you can see me online, like all of that means nothing. I've been going through it, y'all.
All right. Thank you, Charnel. Haley is grandma +1. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that, because I was like, wait a minute now. She said she just filed on Friday, but she said it. And a lot of us know that unfortunate feeling, that big smile on your face, but you know what I'm saying? You really going through it behind the scenes. A lot of us, especially when we share our marriages, relationships, or whatever on social media, most times the folks that's looking at our pages and all that, they only get the highlight reels. There's not too many people that's going to say, I just had a, those that do, I don't get it. I just had an argument with this Negro last night, and they posting everything every day. Most times, and that's why we were shocked to hear the news of Kandi divorcing, and a lot of us that's experienced this, people are shocked because we only show the highlight reels. And that's what Kandi said at the end. Yeah, I know y'all been seeing me. Yeah, I know I've been smiling, but life been a life. And so prayers going up to Kandi. She gonna be all right, TMC. She's a boss. Do you hear me? She's a boss. And yeah, she's gonna be okay. I know she's going through it emotionally and mentally and all of that. But Kandi ain't no dummy. She proved that to us of when they had that marriage special. Todd was trying to add things, and I know she's really looking back now, because we all are looking back on that show. But when that man kept going to his lawyer for this and that and this or that, he let it be known then. But when we in love and all of that, some of those red flags, unfortunately, we will ignore. But he let it be known where he was fighting so hard for her money, and she let it be known, I'm not budging. So was it a scheme all the time, child, that Todd set up? Let's see. Also, I'll say this. I'm looking at my little notes and things that I didn't say that was sent to me. This is still all alleged. But look, I did the same damn thing. But mine's definitely wasn't for reasons as far as a prenup. But allegedly, what's been going around is Todd also waited out those full 10 years because there will be a shift in things, allegedly, when it comes to that prenup. I just waited, and it was only a couple months for me. Because, yeah, run me that Social Security if I need it. If I was in this for 9 years and 6 months, you best believe I'm going to stay 6 more months while you out the house, though. Did that and finalized it after. What else? I talked about the strip club and the strippers. The Real Housewives of Atlanta girls allegedly knew. I'll never forget Marlo telling Kandi that she was a sugar mama to Todd. And you guys should remember Portia when her and Kandi got into it. And Portia said, look, Todd is out there in the New York and New Jersey streets calling himself Marvin. So allegedly everybody knew, but they supported her as much as they could. So I'm rooting for Kandi. It's not like I want to see a downfall of Todd, but I'm a woman and I'm rooting for Kandi, and I know she's going to be all right. For those of you that watch Beauty in Black with me, whenever that show comes back on, we'll be on Patreon. Kandi will be starring in Beauty in Black. So I can't wait. She a boss. And Kandi, go ahead and go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kandi was making a couple $1 million a season. Baby, I'll be right there. 10 years plus 2 kids. This is going to get ugly. Yeah, and even with, shout out to Charnel, even with us watching that clip, we'll watch it again on our way out. You can tell that it's some drama. So let's take a look real quickly. If you haven't hit the like button, please go ahead and hit the like button for me. I think we was up to about 250 of you guys that joined me. Shout out to each and every one of you. Shout out to the replay gang yang. Let's take a look at this real quick, and then we're going to be out of here. Todd is absolutely going to be a BAN about this. Facts, Gigi. Facts. Oh, child.
More that later. I don't want to be sad right now. Or Joe says, can you good to see you in good spirits with so much going on? I'm sorry about you and Ty. Okay, so yeah. I've been going through it. Life has been lifing me. Okay. I filed for divorce on Friday. And yeah. Right now it's a pretty crazy time.
Right there, that little part. Right now, it's a pretty crazy time. She ain't seen crazy. She haven't seen it, but I think that she is prepared. She's extremely smart. She was a boss before Todd. She gonna continue to boss up. Todd, whatever you get, sir, when it comes to that prenuptial agreement, we want, because it's in Kandi. You know what I'm saying? I think the people going to want to see if it lasts, because a lot of those businesses that they started together failed. But they said even that was on purpose. Let me start this business. Because if this one make it, if these continue to make it and we make money, well, I'm going to get half of this. Don't forget the failed business he had with Carlos the King. Carlos, don't forget the business that they had together that failed, that network. So they say that that's one of the reasons why he just kept throwing out those ideas. And you guys heard him in that clip. Well, a man could give you the ideas and then you progress. That was his thing. That was his, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly, that was a part of his MO, I wish I had more time. It will get ugly and show up regarding the children and spousal support. Yeah, and see, that's the thing about that. The initial prenup said no alimony or spousal, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, everything is alleged. But if there was, an addition to, or things will change if we cross this many years and all of that, then yeah, he could absolutely get child support, because he has made sure to document himself with them kids. While Kandi was out here making the boss moves that she was making before him. That could have been a setup as well. Babe, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. I'll stay here with the kids. All of it could be a scheme, child. All of it. Hey, Neva P, you're in Denver? Oh, sis, I've been missing you in Patreon. I'm sure you may be there for the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you guys. Thank you for joining me. Gia, she said she's not allowing Mama Joyce to speak right now because she's not being nice at all. I know she isn't. This was on Kandi's YouTube page. Oh no, this was on Amazon Live. Okay, let me click this real quick. Bummer. Where could I find the full live? I will check. Hold on. I will check. I'll check a YouTube and see if I can find, or TikTok or somewhere, Instagram. See if I can find that full live so I can get the tea. We're gonna be talking about it. But Kandi, my support is for Kandi, period, point blank. Todd, the little that you have now is because of Kandi. Now, I was trying to be nice and said that you were a producer. Somebody in the comments said you was just a cameraman. I don't know what you were, but you weren't this. You weren't this. You wasn't driving all them fancy cars. You wasn't living in the mansions. You wasn't dressing to impress. You wasn't walking around with Broadway shows or this whole T Tucker or whatever. In my opinion, you weren't that. Okay, so we'll keep our eye out on it. And I know it's weird, for Kandi to, content creators, we do this. I was all up in Mel and Martell's marriage, child. So we're going to be talking about it. But my prayers going up to Kandi, and look, it's not like I'm not praying for Todd. I hope that they can come to just whatever resolution that will assist them when it comes to raising those two babies together. But Kandi don't play. Be careful, Todd, because if that lip starts shaking, baby, and she start crying, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. Yes, sis. She is very smart. And you guys know I always say, you can't out-slick a slickster. Kandi is brain smart, street smart, all of the above. Okay. Okay, Charnel, I'll check it out, sis. I gotta go. Aquarius, rewind. I gotta go. Thank you guys again for joining me. Shout out to the Cutie crew. I love you guys. Shout out to the replay gang. Love you guys. If you did not hit that like button on your way in this live, please make sure to hit that like button on your way out. Shout out to all of you that joined me. I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving week. I'll be back at some point before then. Cutie crew, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Afternoon tea with the Cutie crew. All right. It was her money that was funding the businesses. Period. Cheryl Canada. Okay. If he plays dirty, point proven. Well, he proved that with in the negotiation stage. But it's good that Kandi, stood her ground. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday, Peach Prince. Angela Richardson. Hey, sis. That's probably the problem. Her mom talked too much in their marriage. A lot of people are saying that. Oh, I even wrote that down. They called them bitter. Dog it. I wish I would have had that scene. But it was actually the scene where Aunt Bertha spent the round in that chair when she said this is a scheme that Todd set up. Just looking at the faces of Mama Joyce, Aunt Nora, and Aunt Bertha, people in the comments stopped laughing recently. And people in the comments said it is these bitter women that cause this divide when it comes to Kandi and Todd. Saying that they've been in her ear since she was married. But I don't think that. Look, Kandi stood her ground. Mama Joyce voiced her opinion before Kandi even married Todd. But baby, I bet you Mama Joyce is working every nerve when it comes to Kandi. I told you, didn't I tell you? And I would have to tell her, look, Mama, I love you, but go ahead on about your business, okay? I don't want to hear nothing. It is what it is. You've been divorced yourself. Love you though, Mom. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Hey, Miss Dee Dee. Happy Thanksgiving, Angela Richardson. Love you, sis. Love you guys. Love you. I have to go. I am about to get back on the clock. Okay. But I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Happy Thanksgiving again. Chat with you guys soon. Bye. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT.